Boys and girls and children of all ages. A2D proudly presents to you its heavyweight tag team champions of the world, the badass Chuck Moran, the Road Dog, DOGP. It's birds of a feather. You already know. Let's go.
Let's go! This ain't the rock night, or this game can heat steak!
Oh shit!
It's time!
Yo, ladies and gentlemen, this is Birds of a Feather on A2D Radio, brought to you by Manscaped. Get 20% off free shipping with the code A2D at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with the code A2D at Manscaped. It's time to throw out your old hygiene habits and upgrade your life. We are live on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and wherever you download your podcast. So if you're listening to us live or on your commute, we greatly appreciate your support as always. And as my tag team partner so astutely introduced at the top of the show, it's your boy Chucks with Mr. Pete Evans. What's good, man? How was WrestleMania?
It was good. Probably the best one in good 6 years. From top to bottom. The best one that they done where they had to do 2 nights.
Ah, okay.
It was a lot of advancement, building new talent, nod to old talent.
Mm-hmm.
Even the Hall of Fame, no, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Like if I'd have had tickets to be out there, I would have been thoroughly in what's what I'm looking for. I'd have been happy. I'd have been content.
Good.
I'd have felt like my money went to good use if I was out there.
That's good. That's good. I know you watched it at Chrome's house on Sunday.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's good. And man, I can't even remember the last. No, I do remember the last WrestleMania I watched. It was when Rey Mysterio won the title, and that.
You're going WrestleMania 22.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
2006.
Yep, that was the last WrestleMania I watched, and that was the last time I think I remember really being into wrestling. But
okay.
Yeah, I saw that Stone Cold was on it, so I'm like, oh, that's pretty dope.
Yeah,
that's pretty awesome. I've seen clips, so I'm glad it was good. Well, we're here not to talk wrestling, but we're here to talk football as always, and we've got, as always, an action-packed show for you guys tonight. It's draft heavy. It's a draft heavy show tonight as we are in the month of April. We're in the month of the draft. 3 weeks. 3 weeks left. So we're going to kick it off in the first quarter by talking about the trade between the Eagles and Saints. We called it. We called it. We've been saying it, and I'm sure a lot of you have been saying the same thing. Howie Roseman pulls off the trade for a future first-round pick. We'll get to that. We'll give our reactions. We'll get your reactions. We want to know what you think about that trade. In the second quarter, we're going to talk specifically about Eagles draft plans and their process now. So what does their first round look like now that we go from 3 picks to 2 picks? Does that change anything? What prospects are you looking at specifically now that we're 3 weeks away? What prospects do you want the Eagles to target? In the third quarter, we're going to open it up and we're going to take your questions and take your questions, your comments, and your takes. Open up to anything draft related, not just Eagles. We'll go league wide. Maybe we'll do some rankings, some short rankings for certain positions. I know certain people are now starting to get, certain draft experts are starting to get their rankings out there, their draft guides. So it's prime draft season, people. So if you want to talk draft, definitely talk it in the third quarter. And then, as always, in the fourth quarter, we're going to end it with no huddle. We'll see what no huddle brings this time. But like I said, first quarter of this show, we're going to talk about Eagles Saints trade. And the first quarter is brought to you by EXP Realty LLC. If you're looking to buy or sell a home, if you're looking for a change in career brokerage, contact Alan Foy at EXP Realty LLC at 302-682-8820 or visit him at alan.foy@exprealty.com. Our poll question, which is brought to you by All Campus, which is the home of the A2D rant booth. Oh, I lost it for a second. Sorry. The Eagles got more back in their trade with the Saints than you would have expected. Agree or disagree? Definitely give us your thoughts on the trade. Did we make out? Pete, what do you think? Did we get more back than what you originally would have expected we would have gotten in a trade like this?
I mean, I would have to agree because I didn't even know they were doing this shit. Like, we hadn't heard any talks about. I mean, if you dug deep enough, there were some rumblings out there that the Eagles, and we kind of had said tongue in cheek that they're not going to use all 3 picks. They're not going to make 3 picks because then to say you hit on all 3, you got all 3 picks coming off to be rookie contracts, 5-year option, and looking to get paid. So that's not a problem that you would want to have, and they avoided that. And they kind of hedged their bet a little bit. You know, I think they have a good idea of what players are going to be available in that range, and they can be happy with that. And they saw the opportunity to not only give away, I think they gave away a 6th, but now they get an extra 3rd as well, and also get that extra future first and the future second. And I thought the second was also 2023. It wasn't until later that I realized the second round pick was in 2024, which is still good. I mean, it's kind of Sam Hinkie-ish, but it is what it is. You know, I think now they have 15, 18, and also the second round pick, and now they have 2/3. So they have 4 picks, I believe, in the top 101. So that's a good problem to have, and I think they still have 10 picks, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm trying to look at it.
I don't think they lost their total pick count, but because now they have 2 in the 3rd as well.
Yeah.
So actually, they have 5 picks in the first 100.
5 picks in the first. That's what I was trying to. I'm pretty sure it's 5 picks. So they have
5
a lot.
picks in the first. Yeah,
they
it's
have,
a lot.
Yeah, the 2 first, the second, and the 2 thirds, and then a 4th. So I think it's like 5 picks in the first 100, 6 picks in the first 125 or 150. So it's good still. Like, we traded away, but it's still a good. We still have good assets to pile up. So you agree to the poll, right?
Yeah,
I agree to the poll. This was
who disagrees to the poll? Like, I don't know.
I've seen some. So
Okay.
I was trying to come up with a poll question regarding this trade that would have a little bit of like a split, but like this is the best way I could word it. But like I honestly, I was saying this since last season, during the season, and a lot of us were. I was even saying on the show, I was saying, hey, give me a sports book that's taking bets on whether the Eagles are traded, because I'm putting money down on that. I'm kind of upset that I couldn't find one that was taking that prop bet, because I would have made out with money. But I knew this was something that they had to have in place.
Yeah.
I didn't expect them to do it this early. I thought it was going to be closer to the draft or during draft night. So I'm pleasantly surprised, because now that you do this, you get it out of the way and you're not under the pressure of doing it draft night and talking things over the phone while you're on the clock to make your pick.
Right.
So I like that they did it this early. I also would have expected. I didn't expect to get an additional day 2 pick. If we were going to do this, I thought I was like, okay, you're going to get a future. You trade one of your first for a 2023 first, and you're probably going to get some exchanges of mid-round picks, and then you're going to get like an additional second-round pick,
right?
And that's it. But no, they got an additional additional day 2 pick, and that's phenomenal to me. That's phenomenal. So I love this turnout. I love this trade. I love the return for it. And people always talk about how, or there are some people out there that think like, oh, if you're trading for a future pick, that future pick isn't as valuable. I never believed in that. Like, is there more uncertainty to a future pick? Yes, but that doesn't mean that it's less value. It's less valuable. So if you think about it in the Eagles case, you know what you're getting right now. Okay, you're at these spots in the first round, and you have an idea of what prospects, like you said, are going to be there when you pick. A guesstimate, because you have your board. You
Right.
know who you're looking at, but you also can have an eye toward the future a little bit and say, okay, these guys, these prospects are projected to be in for next year, and
Right.
you could say there are teams that honestly could say that, hey, we see these prospects and what we're picking, and we don't need 3 picks in the first round. And I honestly believe that's what the Eagles were. Like, they saw this and were like, we really don't need a 3rd pick in the first round. There's no one we love that much where we need to have that much of a luxury. So being able to flip that for future picks, it's not making it any less valuable, because even though you don't know where those picks will be in, or you don't know what prospects, you don't know what the class is going to look like overall yet, you still know that, hey, this isn't we have what's the word I'm looking for? We have too many assets that we're like we have an excess of assets.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna flip that in return for future ones, so that we can have future assets and have more flexibility in the future years, in 2023 and 2024. That's not trading for less value. That's making sure you're set up for the future, and making a smart move when you just have too much right now that you don't need. So I love that. I love the trade. I don't get how some people don't love it. I mean, out there.
And the biggest thing is I spend probably too much time on this. Is this? I don't know. The Saints draft better than us. I would just say that the Saints draft better than us for the most part. The motivation for them in this, yes, they got another first round pick, and they are kind of depleted. I mean, they were the highest team over the cap. And I guess you can do this in a type of draft where the QB class isn't as strong. You got Jameis Winston coming back off the torn ACL. You move Taysom Hill to tight end now. I just don't get the motivation for them to do it. I'm glad that they did it. I just want to caution everyone here. Yes, this is a great trade, but at some point, the rubber has to meet the road. At some point, these picks has to turn into something. At some point, these picks have to turn into players. Like, there's a plan, and I get it. You get more darts to throw at the board to try to get them to stick, but now they got to stick. You know what I mean? Like, we see when, again, Sam Hinkie, the process with the Sixers. It was great doing this, all these assets. Look at all these picks we got. Look at all the picks we got. And now we're 4, 5, 6 years removed from the process, almost 4 or 5 years removed from the process. And yeah, it turned into harder than it be. But I mean, how confident are we that they're going to win a championship? So I equate that this isn't to that level, right? But like, I just want to, okay, these picks have to turn into something. Like, we have to do something now. You know what I mean? Especially how, and we'll get into it later, second, third quarter, where how this draft board plays out. Yeah, now you got yourself more bullets. You got more bullets in the chamber to be able to use and to hit your target. And now, like I said, for whatever reason, on the Saints, I don't know what the motivation was. Yes, they got the second round pick, but you gave up 5 picks to get 1. Like, there's 8 total picks in the trade. The Eagles gave up 3 and then got back 5. So it's like, maybe they got the eye on somebody that they want for sure. And now they like I said, when you have more. Now, this is the craziest thing, though. Now I think I saw you have 18. Is it 8 teams that have multiple first round picks in this draft? It's
5.
never been seen. Is it 5 picks? 5 teams?
5 teams who have.
So you got, I think, the Giants, Eagles, Saints,
Dolphins, Lions.
Dolphins, and Lions.
Are Saints one of them for next year?
I thought the Texans have 2 picks too now.
It might. I don't know if the Saints do next year.
No, I'm talking about this year in this draft.
Oh, you're talking about this year? I thought you were talking about
I think in this draft, right now,
I
in the
think it's
first
up
round,
there,
I think it's 8 teams that have multiple picks.
And yeah, my bad. I thought you were talking about next year. Yeah,
No.
I think you are right that it's around 8 teams. It's something like that.
It's crazy to where a lot of these teams are going to be able to fill a lot of holes. You know what I mean? So to have that extra first in 2023 automatically makes it more valuable. Makes it more valuable to having an extra first in this year's draft because you're going to be one of the few that stands out next year. Now, what that leads to is to be seen. But the fact that you have that flexibility now, that's where that comes in. So it was a win because, like we said before, to make 3 first-round picks. I mean, if they if somebody was twisting their arm, yeah, they would have made them. But Howie was always listening. He always does good in these situations. Yeah. Always. Like he doesn't. This for him does not surprise me at all. If he's in a position of power, he's always going to come out looking good. It's when he's not and he can't get it done. You know what I mean?
It's literally so. If you took out everything, if you took out just drafting, Howie Roseman is a phenomenal GM. Yep. The thing that bites him in the butt is just drafting. He's so inconsistent. Now he had a great draft last year. So far his draft class last year looks really good.
Right.
2016, that draft was really good. Everything else has been either horrible or mediocre. So you've got to you've got to make the picks. You've got to hit on them. And that's absolutely true. You need to be able to next year and 2024 make those picks and make sure you hit on them. But I think to those who are saying like, oh, you can't judge this trade yet. Like, yes, you can. You can separate for now the actual trade from the actual picks. You can grade like
it's 2 separate things.
Yeah, they're 2 separate things. You can determine, hey, like they did a good job getting these picks, and then you can separate that from, hey, these picks turned out to be so and so.
Right. It's BD before draft, and then PD post draft. You won't even know that this year. You won't know that in 2023. You'll know that in 2024. That's what they all say. It really takes 3 years to see how your draft played out. You know what I mean? How successful you were. So we won't know right away. On the surface, everybody's going to have their opinions and the players. But, it is what it is. I mean, you got the Saints who team just lost Sean Payton, lost Drew Brees, over the cap, lost Malcolm Jenkins. And now you got Dennis Allen. And you really, I wouldn't say the Saints are lost or have lost their way. It's not the same. It's not the same who that. It ain't the same. Yeah. That voice has gotten a lot quieter.
Well, that's the thing. You're talking about why did the Saints do this? Like Samaj Bose Sr. says, the Saints are training for a QB. This move better be for a QB, for one. Like, you make this move with no clear plan, like, what are you doing? What are you doing? You have to have something up your sleeve.
I can see them repackaging 15 and 18 to move up further.
For a
QB,
right?
Yeah.
So there has to be something there. So they believe, according to what Dan Orlovsky said and some other people, like they're doing this because they still believe they're in contention. They are a quarterback or whatever away from being a playoff contender. Now, if you believe that, okay. I'm looking at your roster, like you broke down who they lost. I'm looking at your roster. I'm looking at your coaching staff. I don't know about that, Saints. Again, we are in April, so a lot of things could change, and you never know how a team is going to be. I mean, none of us would have expected the Bengals to make it to the Super Bowl, so anything can happen. But looking at their roster situation right now, like I don't know, man. They could end up being a really, really bad team. So if they are, and that's kind of what I'm leaning toward. If they are a bad team, this pick is a home run. Like this could be a top 10 pick, top 10 pick. And I'm looking at their schedule, and I mean, not the schedule. Schedule hasn't come out yet, but their opponents, and one of them includes us. We play the Saints again.
We can definitely help make that pick worse.
We can absolutely. You don't think that's going to be extra motivation? I mean, 2 years in a row, Saints have lost in Philly with Jalen Hurts at the helm.
We played. Where do we play them at?
Philly twice
again this year,
and this year we played them again in Philly. So I like our chances in Philly against the Saints. Jalen Hurts again, twice in a row, 2 years in a row. I've beaten them. I think he's going to go for a third, but it is early. I just say, man, like from the Saints, it's very questionable. And it's like if you were to trade these picks and the first pick you're getting back is like near like the 10s, like around the top 10, that's I can understand that more. But man, they barely moved.
Would you have rather? I might pose this question. Would you, and to the fam out there, keep chiming in. Would you have rather had, instead of getting the second round pick in 2024, to get Michael Thomas back instead?
I know a lot of people would say yes. I would say no.
Okay.
I would say no.
Okay.
But I'm also lower on Michael Thomas than
you've always that's been consistent.
I've always been lower, so I can understand. Now I don't hate Michael Thomas. Right. I think if I've always said, like, I think when we were discussing it on the show months ago, would you trade for Michael Thomas? I would trade for Michael Thomas if it costs like a day 3 pick. Like if the toss is really low, you know what I mean, and it wouldn't require much. Oh, absolutely. Like I would obviously pull the trigger. He's not someone that I'd be like, stay away no matter what. But it's for. Would I rather have a second round pick or Michael Thomas? I'd rather have a second round pick at this point.
Okay.
Because I just don't know. Like he hasn't been healthy. He hasn't been on the field, and you hear all this like the bickering with the front office with the New Orleans Saints. Like,
and that was that was after they paid him.
Yeah, it's just
that's my biggest thing is the price tag that comes with it, not the player.
Yeah,
the price tag that comes with it. That's why I'm like,
I know.
I figure it'd be a fun question to ask.
It is. It's a good question because if he is still the same player that he was just like 3 years ago, you're talking about one of the premier wide receivers in the league. Some people, I mean, I thought it was stupid, but some people had him as the best wide receiver in the league. It looks foolish to say that now, but that was the take that people had. Right. So you're talking about that caliber of player. If he's still that player, then that's obviously trading a second round pick for that type of player is a no-brainer. But the thing is, with everything going on recently in the past 2 years, you don't know. There's no certainty. Right. I don't have confidence saying that he is. Like, I don't know if he is the same player. So that's where I'm coming from. If there were any signs that I could go off of the past year or two that saying, hey, like when he's on the field, he is still he's still elite. He's still a top tier receiver. Then I'd be like, okay, that's better. But we have had no signs of whatsoever. None. Like there's nothing we can tell that he's still the same player. So I'm very hesitant to trade a second round or, to pass up on a second round pick for him.
Okay. Fair enough.
Would you?
That's tough because you said one of the things that you stated was giving up a day 2 pick or a day 3 pick. We're not even giving up anything. They're just throwing him in to sweeten the deal. You feel what I'm saying? Or maybe even if Howie would have said, okay, well, we'll give you this, this, and this. We'll give you the first round pick in 2023. And you say, no, you know what? Keep the first. Give me a second, but send Michael Thomas my way and give me the second in 2024.
So instead of the first,
right,
you get a second back and then Michael Thomas.
You get two twos.
I still would have said no.
Okay.
Because the 2023 first rounder is key because your eye is on a quarterback.
No, I get it. I understand.
Yeah.
I
I'm saying,
I
I'm
understand.
just talking it out. Like that's
Yeah.
what I'm thinking. Like I get like value wise the drop off, but it's key to have that first rounder because you know what the Eagles are doing. You know what their plan is. They're looking for a quarterback. So that second rounder means nothing. Like, yeah, you get Michael Thomas in the second rounder, but you need that first rounder to put yourself in position for the quarterback. That's that's what's important. So now if you were to change that up, right? I'll say this. If you were to change it up and that 2024 second rounder, if they would have said, okay, we'll instead of the 2024 second rounder, we'll give you a 2024 third, or I don't know, maybe a 2024 fourth even, plus Michael Thomas, I would have been on board. I would have been like, sure. I'd be happy. I'd be happy with that. I absolutely would be happy with that. Yeah. I'd take that. I would take that.
I probably would have the same, or even said, hey, okay, I don't need 101 this year. You keep that and give me a 2024. Give me the first 2023. Keep 101. 2024, you give me a third and send Michael Thomas my way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you.
But
all right.
Good convo.
Good combo. Well, let's get into the second quarter now. Let's talk about Eagles draft plans. But before you do, what we got here coming up, sponsor wise, Pete.
So second quarter is brought to you by BetUS, the leading online sports book who has been in the market for over 25 years. This is a big sports week. You had Masters. This is Masters week, opening day. So a lot of action out there. You can bet anywhere in the U.S. on anything. Use the link as you see it right here on your screen for a 125% sign-up bonus when you deposit 100 or more.
Nice. All right, so guys, draft. Let's talk about Eagle specific first before we get into the whole scope of the league. And I know there's a lot of people are already commenting, and yes. So like we've got a lot of good stuff here in the chat. But before we do that, actually, let's address this. Just hours ago, it was reported that Tyrann Mathieu, the veteran safety, had a virtual meeting. Honey Badger had a virtual meeting with the Eagles. He also had a virtual meeting with the Saints.
I think he was in New Orleans, though. That was physical.
In New Orleans, okay. One, would you take Honey Badger? And two, yes. Do you think it'll happen? What's your gut feeling on whether it'll happen?
Yes, I want him.
I do too.
Gut feeling, if it happens, I don't think for him. I don't know. I think if it's between us and New Orleans, I think we have the weaker division, one. And I think we probably can offer him more money. So, I mean, with that being said, I think gut feeling, if it's going to happen between us and New Orleans, I probably would go 80% us, 80-20. Just because we have more flexibility in the cap, and the only thing I would say is that defensive unit he may have more fun with.
Yeah.
Because this is a more talented defensive unit right now on paper. But I think the impact team-wise, he would be better suited here.
Okay.
Listen, there's no fan base like Philly when it comes to Eagles fan base, when it comes to defense and it comes to safeties. Yeah. I mean, you can follow an all-time Hall of Famer great and Brian Dawkins to come here. Now, Honey Badger will be 31 in May, I believe. His birthday's in May because I looked this up.
Okay.
So I had to figure out how old he was. But, I mean, gut feeling was between them and two. Between us and the Saints, I think it is. But it has to be more teams out there.
That's what I was thinking. Like,
it just has to be.
If I'm going to put a percentage on it, how I feel, I think right now I'd say like at best, at most optimistic, I'd say 50%. Yeah. But like maybe it's even like 35 or 40 right now. I just have a feeling there's another team that could still make a play for him. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. The way free agency has gone for the Eagles, I don't expect big names. So like this trade has been the only big thing the Eagles have done in free agency, like big thing. So I don't know if I can.
Well, I mean, they also signed Howie to an extension. So
Blah, blah, blah. So, I'm not gonna. It's like part of me is like just not getting my hopes up, but man, I really hope it does. Like I've always loved Honey Badger. I've loved the way he
Right.
plays, his versatility, his tenacity. He's not the same. He's not in his prime anymore. He's not the same player. So he's not like a top tier safety anymore, but he's still a really good safety. So I would love to add that because it's better than what we have now in freaking Anthony Harris and Omar Epps. So I'm down for Tyrann Mathieu. We'll see if it happens. So in the chat, let's see. What we got here. We go. Middlebrook, what's going on, Bill? He says if 15 and 18 are two of these guys, I'm a happy camper. He says McDuffie, Davis, Stingley, or Lloyd. I like those guys. I like the names he provided. If I want to pick two of them, I'd probably go Stingley and Davis. If I'm gonna have a preference.
Lloyd is out. I listen. I mean, no. I mean, as much as people want us to draft a linebacker, it's not happening.
It's not
Especially
happening
with the Kaiser White signing.
Yeah, it's not happening.
It's going to be out of that 4.
Yeah. Again, it's just out of the 4 he mentioned. I mean, obviously, those are. I don't believe, or I'm not 100% sure if those will be the 4 that'll be available. But out of the 4 he mentioned, those are the 4. The 2, I'd say I'd prefer Stingley and Davis.
Yeah, see, McDuffie's more proven. We literally just had this discussion yesterday.
We did.
But when we see Stingley run that 4.37, it's just I don't know. And then I don't know if Devontae Wyatt's going to still be on the board. But if out of this 4, I'm probably going Davis and Stingley. And I think that's more realistic of the players that'll be there. Lloyd will definitely be there. But I think McDuffie, a lot of teams are higher on McDuffie because his tape is just a lot cleaner than what Stingley's is. And the health history is just a lot cleaner. I mean, but I want to listen, you guys may kill me for this. Give me another wideout. You got to. Because
I know you've been saying it.
You need 3-4 deep. You need 3-4 deep. You got Zach Pascal, big slot receiver. You need listen. If Jameson's there,
I would. Okay, so let me say this real quick. So okay, I have 2 points before we get to the wideout discussion. So first point. Stingley and McDuffie. I love both of them, but for different reasons. I love McDuffie love the way he plays. I've heard the argument that he'd be a better safety than a corner, and that may be true. That absolutely may be true. 1,000%, it could absolutely be true. But we all know right now corner is more valuable than a safety. So if he can play at a high level at corner, you're going to give him that opportunity to do corner first. Now the history is against him because of his arm length is an outlier. It's very short. It's like 28 or 29 inches. And usually the threshold you want is 31. I think in the history of the NFL, there have been no corners with less Pro Bowl corners with less than a 31-inch arm length. So history is against him. However, I don't put too much stock into that if I'm looking at his tape and I love him that much. Right. You know, if I love his game that much, I'm not going to let short arm length really overtake that. So I love McDuffie. I would take him, but I love Stingley in this regard. Pete, I think me and you are very similar when it comes to assessing risk and being like, okay, I'll take risk, right? Me and you agreed on Caleb Farley last year. Yep. You know, everyone else was out on him. Me and you were like, give me Farley because if he does hit and stays healthy, he is the best corner in the draft. Okay, it remains to be seen. He still was hurt in his rookie year, so it remains to be seen how he
and those concerns aren't present with Stingley because we just seen him run.
Yeah. So it's not a matter with Stingley whether he's hurt. What matters with Stingley right now, where the risk gets involved, is what happened the past 2 years. What is the situation that caused his his insane 2019 tape to fall off and drop off. If you are someone outside of the organization, aka me, you, anyone in the media, all the other fans, anyone, all of us outside the organization, we are never going to know what happened for sure in the past 2 years with Stingley. We're not going to know. The only people that are going to know or have at least a decent idea of what happened are the teams. That's when you have teams conduct interviews and really do their research or due diligence on Stingley, and they ask him what happened. I guarantee you, every single team that has interviewed Stingley, their first question is going to be what happened the past 2 years. And it's up to Stingley to provide reason for what happened and why his play dropped off. Now, for us as fans and in the media, with that gray or with that blind spot in mind, how are you going to accept that risk? How comfortable are you? For me, if we are at 15 or 18, then I am comfortable taking that risk. If I was at 8 or 9 or 10, I may not be as comfortable. You get what I'm saying?
Like, if he's on the board at 15, he's going to be there probably at 18 because the Saints ain't taking him. Mm-hmm. And I forget who's at 17. Is it the Chargers at 17? I believe.
I don't know. I'm not
sure.
I
think it's the Chargers at 17. They're probably not taking him. So he'll be there at 18. I knew this was going to come up when we brought up McDuffie. Samaj Bose Sr. says, y'all really want to draft another corner from Washington, Sidney Jones. Shaking my head, not saying he'll be him, but I mean, and we talked about that. Like, because if you look at that combo with Sidney Jones and Kevin King coming out at the same time, both got drafted, and Kevin King got drafted in the first round because he was healthy.
Put out good corners, though.
Yeah, Kevin King and Sidney Jones, they've been serviceable. They haven't been.
Sidney Jones just got a new contract.
Yeah,
did he not? So yep. I get what Samaj is saying though. Like that Sidney Jones pick will like kind of because we expected him to be a CB1 and he didn't pan out to be. So I get it. He didn't live up to expectations. But like overall, if you look at all the corners Washington has put out, they've had really good corners put out. So yeah. I get it, and I get the concern. Again, I understand the concerns with McDuffie. I still would prefer Stingley over.
But if you look across most big boards, Stingley's in the top 5.
Yeah,
this isn't a question about his traits, and I think when we talk about how we assess risk and how we look at players, it's just you got to have traits. Like traits help. Elite traits, like athletic traits, help. When you have that elite trait, other shit can figure itself out. You see what I'm saying? Like if there's nothing else Stingley can do, the bitch can run fast as shit and keep up with CeeDee Lambs and keep up with Terry McLaurin, Scary Terry. You know what I mean? I can't even name a Giants wide receiver that's worth the time of day right now. That may change after the draft. But you don't have that. And not only are you looking probably for a CB2 this year, Slay probably only has this year and next year where you're going to need this guy to be you're going to need whoever you take to be your CB1.
Yeah.
And then this is furthermore, if you supplant the deal with Honey Badger and you get that type of leader as a safety, I'm not worried about Stingley at all. I'm not because 2019, his best tape, that was the best college football team we've seen in the last 50 years. That team was fucking loaded. Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Joe Burrow,
Clyde
Edwards-Helaire was loaded. He was going against these dudes in practice every day.
Yeah.
Every day. Like Derek Stingley, what happened to you in 2020? And we lost Chase, we lost Jefferson. It wasn't the same in practice. I just didn't have to want to because I didn't feel like turning it on. You know what I mean? Like it could be one of those type of things. But
yeah, it could be he had his eye on the draft, on getting drafted on the pros. And is that right? Is that a good thing to be to say and to know about it? No, but if he gives you assurance that hey, like once I get drafted, this is what I'm working for. This is what I want. Then you can be like, okay, as long as we have confidence in you to stay committed to, at the pro level, at this next level, then okay, we're good. Like it's about how the teams are going to feel comfortable interviewing him,
Yeah.
but we won't know. There's no way we will know. It's all speculation. I know we both listen to Chris Sims and his when he left Stingley off his top 5, I wanted to know why. And he explained that he just saw someone who didn't compete, didn't have, that the competitive fire to him. But then when you hear Greg Cassell talk about him, Cassell says, I never saw that. I just saw certain lapses in technique and so and so. So like different people see different things when it comes to like and that's all it is. So it's a matter of how are you going to feel about that risk? Again, like where we pick, I am okay with that risk because the payoff, if he is going to be what he was in 2019, he is absolutely not only the best corner in this draft, but in last year's draft, maybe even last year's draft. So like that upside is serious. That's serious upside. But again, there's the risk involved. How do you feel about it? That's the big question.
Yeah.
That's a huge question. Now you were talking about wide receiver. Well, actually, the other thing I want to get into real quick, the two Georgia defensive linemen, right? Wyatt or Davis. Where are you leaning toward? Jesse Davis gives a good breakdown. He said he'd be happy with Wyatt or Davis, and so would I. I'd be happy with either one. He said Wyatt can be moved around and get after the QB, but Davis is invincible for 8 tackles, player who will open up opportunities for your DEs.
I mean, listen, I would rather have Trayvon Walker out of all 3 of them, but that bitch is going.
He's going top 5. Okay,
he's going top 5.
He could be number 1.
He's going top 5. I probably would take Davis.
Davis,
because you need somebody. You want that, and Jesse Davis puts it well here. Devontae Wyatt, plug and play starter. 5-10 years. There you go. Right. But Davis is that next level of player. Like Wilford, he made shit difficult on everybody and made it easier for his teammates. Richard Seymour, when he gets his inducted to the Hall of Fame in this August, he needs to say thank you, Vince Wilfork. Like that better come out of his mouth because he was on that D line. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. But don't get me wrong, Richard Seymour was a fucking beast, but Vince Wilfork made his life easier. You know what I mean? So if Davis is like that, but that's the hard part. It's like you got Trayvon, you got Wyatt, you got Davis. Obviously, Davis is standing out because he ran a 4.78 40 at 6'5", 315, 320, something like that.
Interior.
Crazy. It's a large man covering a lot of ground in a short amount of time. So yeah, no, I mean, and then you know, like Samaj says, you don't have to play him a lot this season either. You know I'm not a fan of Olavi at 18, though, I'll tell you that.
Typically, we'll get back to that. Typically, right? Typically, for your 4-3 scheme, the 4-3 scheme that the Eagles have had for so long outside of the Chip Carey era, right? Mm-hmm. The typical or the type of interior defensive lineman you'd want for the Eagles is Wyatt. Okay, 3 tech gets after the quarterback, pressure. That's normally who you'd want. However, this defensive scheme isn't your normal 4-3 scheme that we've seen in years past. Okay, for the Eagles, you need a nose tackle on this defensive line. You have Cox. I know he's only going to be here for another year, but as of right now, you have Cox. You have Milton Williams, who looks like is a budding star, who is also a good 3 tech. But you don't have a nose tackle who can 2-gap. Why is that important? Because, like you said, it opens things up for other people. It has, for the run game, it gives you the flexibility to only have one person in there to take care of both gaps, to free up stuff for everyone else along the line and all their other responsibilities, as well as the people at the second level. So you need having that type of force and player in the middle of that line could do wonders. And it's a missing key in this front. And people keep certain people, I won't name names, certain people who we have chats with, they seem to scoff at the fact that like, oh, Gannon's scheme, it's not multiple. Gannon's scheme sucks. Like he doesn't know what he's doing. That's not the case. Like again, he uses multiple fronts. We've seen it. A lot of times he used a 5-2 front last year, right? Or however you want to call it, a 4-3 over front, whatever you want to call it. He used a lot of 5-man surfaces. Well, you can argue that was out of necessity. He did it because he had to. So if you add another piece type of player that you don't currently have, that opens things up. Okay, that opens things up for other people. And the same thing, like you need not one type of player, you need multiple types of players. So you have that ability and flexibility on your defense to do different things. That's what we've wanted. We've wanted not only hand in the dirt edge rusher, but maybe also someone who can stand up and rush the passer from the Joker position, which is kind of like what Hassan Reddick does. So it's about flexibility. So I would take Davis. I would be happy with either one. But if I were to choose between the two, I'd take Davis. Now, Matt Walsh, he says either Burks or Olave at 18. You say no to Olave. Muted. Pete.
No to Olave at 18. I'm all in on Traylon Burks. I don't need. Listen, don't get me wrong. I get it. You need speed. And you need Olave is kind of a blend. He's a professional wide receiver already with his route running. I get it. But with the quarterback that we have here now, you need somebody that has a bigger catch radius, and Burks has untapped potential. So I'll take this question too. Huh?
It's crazy because depending on who you ask, they all have different wide receiver ones. Like it's insane. Like I look at Dane Brugler, who came out with his draft guide. He's got Garrett Wilson as his wide receiver one. I look at Matt Wallman. He has Chris Olave as his wide receiver one. I look at someone else, and they have who is it? John Ledyard. He has Traylon Burks as his wide receiver one. It's like a toss of that. Like I don't know. I go back and forth, and if I were my style, like if you were to ask me what would I want for this Eagles team, I'd probably be on board with you and say Jameson Williams. Yeah. I think Jameson to me would be like just the guy I'd prefer. And I think that for Chris Sims, wasn't Jameson Chris Sims wide receiver one?
Yes.
Yeah. So I think I would go Jameson over others, but everyone has a case for all the other ones. I've heard awesome cases for every, like Olave, Wilson, London. You know, we talk about London. Big guy who can move, a big guy who has an unbelievable catch radius.
Yeah.
Like, I understand. Like I've heard the arguments for all of them, and I get it. I don't know who I'd prefer, in terms of the league, in terms of like, you know, who's going to be a star. But for the Eagles, I think I would take Jameson. I'm not someone who believes that it's imperative we get a wide receiver with big size. I think that'd be great, but I don't think it's necessary, because as long as you have two talented wide receivers, they move along the formation anyway.
But we only have one. That's the problem.
No, I hear it.
That's the problem.
And I get you.
No, I mean, and we don't. Like I said, I like a lot of wide receivers in this class. I like Alec Pierce. We've heard of Sky Moore, the kid out of South Dakota State. His name is slipping my mind right now.
Are you talking about Watson?
Yeah, Watson. So it's one of those things. Yeah, I don't think we had to take him in. Like if we took him out, Alec Pierce or Watson, that's second, third round, even possibly. Jesse Davis brings it up. Jahan Dotson, that's another one. You know what I mean? You're talking about Deontay Johnson-esque. You know what I mean? With Jahan Dotson, maybe it's a little bit more explosive. So, it's a lot of different flavors there. Bev White says you better worry about quarterback before you worry about a wide receiver. Hey man, listen, He's working with Tom Brady right now. He's following Tom Brady. He's Tom Brady's is his muse. So if he can mold him, you know what I mean. And that's the kind of guy. I don't know. We all said this from day one. It's an easier road if Jalen Hurts is the guy. It's the
Much
easiest
easier
road
road
possible. It's the
Yeah.
easiest road possible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean. So, yeah, we need a more explosive Alshon Jeffrey-esque wide receiver on this team, because accuracy is not this dude's thing. But honestly, even if we had the most accurate quarterback, you still a dude with a big catch radius is great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we talked about him earlier. Michael Thomas, Drew Brees, accurate as shit. But Michael Thomas Drew Brees, Michael Thomas, he made it easier because how big he is. You know what I mean? So
there are guys in the day 2 range who I would love to. So like if we pass up on a wide receiver in round 1, I wouldn't be upset, because there are guys that I like, and in a year where the top wide receiver who's fighting for top wide receiver spot is up in the air, like, okay, if I don't know who I'd like, then let me get some of the second tier guys. Like you said, Sky Moore, right? We're not Sky Moore. He's smaller.
No. I said Alec Pierce, Christian Watson.
Alec Pierce, Christian Watson, George Pickens too.
I forgot about that's a sleeper.
Yeah,
because he hasn't played.
Yeah, because he hasn't played.
But
Yep. And again, we're not talking like the thing why I would be down for a day 2 wide receiver is because like I don't think we need a superstar wide receiver. We kind of need this is where
he complements.
Yeah. So this is where I say if you're looking for a wide receiver for the Eagles in their circumstance, I'm not looking for the risky pick. I'm looking for the safe pick. Okay. I want the safe pick because I want to know who I'm getting that can complement Devontae Smith, because Devontae is already our alpha. He's our wide receiver 1. We don't necessarily need a wide receiver 1. We need to know that we're hitting on a wide receiver that would be reliable. So like you said, so the second tier of guys, you got Pickens. I would take Pickens in the second round. You got Christian Watson, North Dakota State. I would take him in the second or third round. John Mechie, Alabama. I was talking to you about him before. Like this kid make plays. Like he may not be a superstar, but I feel like on a slot receiver, I know he's shorter, but like as a slot receiver, he just makes plays. So like Alec Pierce, he's 6'3". You take him somewhere in day 2. Like there are like those handful of guys. Justin Ross, another one from Clemson. People talk about
Jalen Tober, South Alabama. David Bell out of Purdue.
David Bell, another high upside guy. So there are guys beyond round 1 that would be you'd be okay with, because the difference from last year to this year is you're not looking for a wide receiver 1 anymore. You're looking for compliments. You're looking for depth, and that's where
you're looking to fill out an actual core. You're not looking for
a superstar. So that's where it is. But it's a good conversation because like, hey, if one of those top wide receivers are the best available on the board at 15 or 18. Then obviously look at it. Like look, Jameson, Olave, London, all of them. Look at them and see how you like. See how you like them. Andrew Gardner agrees. George Pickens gonna be a steal. I really like how he plays. He's very sharp in his routes. Like he's not the best route runner, but he has that stop-start ability. Like his comeback routes are good. Like his curl routes. Like I like his how he stops and stops on a dime. He sells vertical very well. Let's see who else is there. So I like Pickens a lot. Now I'm trying to look. Oh, here we go. Let's get into this. So, how do you feel about the safety class? I just talked about this earlier. So.
Good. You've dived into it more than I have.
Yeah. So for me, okay, I've looked at the top like 5-ish safeties in this class now, and I obviously if Kyle Hamilton falls to us at 15, if Howie is not immediately making that call within 0.5 seconds to pick Kyle Hamilton, I swear I'll smack him in the face. Like, pick Kyle Hamilton at 15 if he's there. Please. Please, God, just do it. Just don't even think about it. I don't care who else is available. Just pick Kyle Hamilton. Anyway, but outside of him, outside of Kyle Hamilton, who probably won't be available at 15, out of guys, the next tier of guys you've got is Dax Hill. You've got Lewis Seen, Jalen Petrie, Jaquan Brisker, Brian Cook. Those are pretty much the guys that people look at in the next tier, right? The guy for me that I really want is Lewis Seen out of Georgia. Okay, a lot of people have been talking about Dax Hill, so I'm going to talk about. So let's compare the two. I like Dax Hill a lot too. Like, I love what he does. I love that he's pretty much like another slot corner, right? He comes in, he plays, can guard the slot position very, very, very well, and he can play deep half. So I like that versatility. Dax Hill is going to be a good safety, I believe. The reason why I like Lewis Seen, though, is because I think Lewis Seen is exactly what we're looking for in a safety. Lewis Seen has amazing straight line speed, and he's a type that, as Greg Cosell puts it, you play him from top down. Okay, you play him deep and off, so you play him back, and you let him make plays in front of him. Okay, you let things develop in front of him, and he will make plays. He's not the best at. You don't want him in man coverage because he's not the best at maybe like turning around and playing behind them. So like if he has to shadow a receiver, a tight end or a slot receiver, like he might struggle with that. But if he's playing deep and everything's in front of him, his straight line speed, his range is awesome, and he's amazing pursuit. So in Gannon's cover 4, too high scheme, that's what we're looking for in a safety. That's what we need. We need someone back there as the last line of defense who will make plays when teams dump it off short, when teams go for the underneath routes. Lewis Seen is that safety that we absolutely need because we take away everything deep already.
Right.
That's what Gannon.
You're so deep as it is.
Yeah. So you need a safety who's, whether he's playing deep half, single high, robber, like you need someone who's going to be able to see everything in front of them and make the play on the ball or at run support or whatever. So Lewis Seen has that range, and he's as Chris Sims said in his podcast when he was talking about Seen, is he's got rockets up his ass. So he has amazing explosiveness to make plays like that in a straight line. So with all the other safeties, Seen matches what we are looking for the most. I like Petrie. I like Brisker. Brisker though is like more of like a Cam Chancellor role, like in the box safety type of thing. Although he does have the ability to play in coverage and deep half. His strong suit is near the line of scrimmage. So that's why I want Seen. Now, will he fall to us in the second round? I think it's possible.
Right.
So he would have to be a second round pick. But I want Lewis Seen. That's what I want. And now everything in my mind as I'm getting ready for the jump, I'm like, okay, Seen at 2 in the second round is my absolute number one priority right now. I'm like, I need Seen in the second round. But I don't know of anyone else at safety beyond that second tier of guys.
Right.
Maybe Kirby Joseph out of Illinois has some upside to him where he can play deep half. Deep half and single high and be that, has the range. So maybe him too, but that's what
and this is the thing, like we talked about it with the LSU team. Just give me fucking players from that team. Just give me players from Georgia. Because these guys were good and weren't able to get it done last year. they know what it takes to face adversity and then succeed and excel and win. I want guys like that. I think that's infectious in the locker room.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Now here's the last thing let's talk about before we get to the third quarter and turn it to league wide outside of Eagles. Do you think Howie's done trading?
Done trading?
Yeah, before do you sniff another trade either before or during draft day for Howie? Like a major.
For sure.
I'm not talking about like, oh, let's trade a fifth rounder for for a sixth and a fifth next year. No, I'm talking about like a major significant trade that'll have a pretty big impact in on draft day.
Yes.
So you think he will make another trade?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do too.
Because I just think the opportunity is going to present itself for him to do so.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if the 18th pick gets traded back. If we trade back from 18 and get more picks.
Especially if they get value at 15.
Yeah.
For sure they can trade back out of 18.
Yeah.
If somebody is there at 15 that they have high on their board that they didn't think was going to be there at 15 and they're there, then for sure.
Yeah. I think it would happen. And plus, remember, we still have Andre Dillard. He could be moved. For a team that's in desperate need of an offensive tackle, Andre Dillard absolutely could be moved. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Joe Herkowski asked, he says, if the Eagles sign Honey Badger or Gilmore, he's worried that Howie's going to draft Malik Willis and Traylon Burks. I said this to Jake earlier and to you in our chat. I'm willing to bet a lot of money that the Eagles will not be drafting a quarterback in the first, second, or third round this year. I'm willing to bet a lot of money on that. I just don't see it. I don't see them making these moves and not giving Hurts one more year. I think they are absolutely committed to Hurts for 2022.
They have never had a QB that sought out Tom Brady's counsel. So I'm just saying, like, when Jeffrey Lurie, Howie Roseman, and Sirianni hears that, like, okay, this guy, maybe he and he's here, he's under contract, he's cheap. You know what I mean? Like, it makes too much sense but this conversation a year from now is completely different if we get another year like we just got out of him.
Because we talked about this. We've been talking about this for months. Like, oh wow, holy crap! Danny Green just hit a crazy shot. I just don't think they look at this QB class and are sold. I don't think they're heads over heels and over any of these quarterbacks in order for them to invest in one of them and just push Hurts aside. Like, I don't think any of these quarterbacks are worth it in their eyes. I don't see them falling in love with any of them. I just don't see it. So that's my prediction. I am willing to put money on it. If you guys know of any sports books, you guys let me down last time with me trying to find a sports book that had that prop bet. You guys got to help me out here now. Please find a sports book that has a prop bet of the Eagles drafting a quarterback in round 1 of the draft this year, and I will put money on that. I will absolutely put money on that. So let me know. That's your homework, guys. Anyone listening, I'm telling you, that is your homework to find me a sports book that has that prop bet. Please, I need money. I need money. I have a 18-month or 19-month-old. I need money. So, all right, let's take it over to the third quarter. Let's talk league wide now, and we'll take your draft questions and any other draft related topics outside of the Eagles. Before we do, our third quarter sponsor is Dr. Paul Vidal, a Specialized Physical Therapy LLC. He's got 2 locations in Burlington and Cherry Hill. So make them yours, specializedphysicaltherapy.com. All right, so let's open it up. Broad scope. Let's see. Joe says, do you think the Eagles leaked their meetings with Corral and Willis? so teams behind them may trade up and increase the chance of better players falling into Eagles' lap. I absolutely do think so.
100%.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely, Joe.
But
No
it's also
doubt.
the oldest trick in the book too. So if other
Yeah.
teams fall for that,
Absolutely, without a doubt in my mind. Like a lot of remember a lot. It's not just the Eagles that do this stuff. It's every team. Every team
Right,
does this sort of posturing. It's strategy to get a better chance at certain players. So absolutely, without a doubt. Ryan Haskell says Pickett to the Panthers found out Matt Rule had him committed to Temple before he decided to go to Pitt. That's a neat little tidbit. I didn't know that. I could see. I
but I
think
mean, he's a North Jersey kid, right?
Pickett.
Yeah,
I don't know. Is he?
yeah. He grew up an Eagles fan. Like he's a central
Yes.
North Jersey kid.
He did. I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember now. Yeah, he was an Eagles fan. I think the Panthers are definitely going to be taking a quarterback this year.
Well,
They have Sam Darnold right now as a quarterback. I think they're going to be taking a quarterback. Let's look. I'm going to bring up the draft order. Let's see. All right. So Jacksonville has a quarterback. Let's play a game.
okay.
And you tell me if you see and no like maybe blah 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 like hard stance for now. Just that's what's gonna make this fun. Hard stance, yes or no to a quarterback. Okay, so obviously the Jaguars at 1 are not gonna take a quarterback. 2, Detroit Lions at 2.
At 2, I can't
2.
see it.
You what?
At 2, I can't see it.
You can't say that too. Okay. I am going to say no as well. I'm going to say no for them at 2. Let's see. Okay, Houston Texans at 3. Yes or no?
Maybe.
No. You have to say yes or no. No maybes.
Who's there now?
Davis Mills.
And who else?
I don't know. Doesn't matter.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure it's just Davis Mills and a no one.
This is the most putrid depth chart. They have Davis Mills, Jeff Driscoll, Kyle Allen. Oh,
like I said, no.
No, I had to say no because I think they that's a team that with a fan base you can pawn it off to next year and just get CJ Stroud.
Okay. New York Jets already has a quarterback. Here we go. Okay, it's starting to get spicy now. At 5, New York Giants. Now keep in mind, they have another pick at 7. So they have 5 and 7. But what makes it interesting is at 6, it's the Carolina Panthers. So that's what makes it interesting because if they have someone in mind, they could lose them to the Panthers at 6.
I'm gonna say no. I don't.
You're gonna say no. Okay.
Yeah, just because the brass that they have there now with the new head coach Dable, Joe Shane from Buffalo, they know what it's like to have and to see. Well, you know what? I'll say this: if they do, I'm probably willing to bet it's probably going to be Malik Willis.
Yeah. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say the Giants go at 5 and say get a quarterback.
Okay.
I think they get a quarterback at 5. Panthers at 6. I think they go quarterback.
Okay.
Do you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Then we said Giants at 7. Obviously, no. If I say I had said they're going to get one at 5, so for me,
not a 7.
And then how about you? Do you think that 7? No. You know they're going to give Jesse Davis says they keeping Danny one more year. Okay. If they're really going with Danny for one more year, then that's another year of them being horrible. Number 8, 8th pick, Atlanta Falcons.
No,
Yes, they're taking quarterback.
I don't think so.
You don't think so? Well, hold on. Who do they have? They have freaking.
But who? Well, you got
They
to
have.
think. By that time, we had 2 other teams take quarterbacks already, right?
That's true. That's true.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like they're not going to sit there and take Desmond Ridder at 8 or Sam Howell at 8. If
I guess
Pickett
it depends. I guess it depends on who's available. So like, I think Malik Willis will be one of the first quarterbacks taken. I think that's just because of the high upside. But is it going to be Pickett next? So if Pickett's next, I think Corral could be in consideration.
Yeah.
So here, because this is the juicy spot, because like 8, Atlanta at 8 and Seattle at 9, that could be that second or third quarterback. Because I think Seattle could be looking for a quarterback. They got who? Like Drew Lock? Like
they got Drew Lock. Gino's still there.
Yeah, they could Seattle absolutely could be.
It's a shit show. That's what it is.
It is. I mean, and this is the pick they just traded Russell Wilson for.
Yeah.
So I think Seattle absolutely is looking at a quarterback.
Good.
Out of any teams that we've mentioned so far in the top 10, I think Seattle.
The 2 most prevalent, I think, is Carolina at 6, Seattle at 9.
Yes, I agree with that. I think for me, it goes Seattle absolutely, and then Panthers right behind them in terms of looking for a quarterback. I think it just makes too much sense. So it'll be interesting to see how they fall. Now, like Jets come up. Now Washington at 11. They just signed Carson Wentz. I'm gonna say no. Okay, I'm gonna say no to them looking for a quarterback. Would you agree?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I don't think the Vikings already gave Kirk Cousins that extension, so they're not. Houston picks again at 13. Now, here it is. If one of those quarterbacks fall, say Malik Willis is the only one gone. Houston Texans at 13. Do they take one?
I can see them taking one at 13, yeah.
Okay.
Or it's either taking one at 13 or drafting out of that or trading out of that spot.
Yeah.
To get more.
Bev Voice says they're not drafting quarterback. They were already offered a first round pick with Daniel Jones. Were they really? I don't.
I would have gave that bitch away. So before you even finished first round.
I don't believe.
As soon as you said first, yes. Yes.
Yeah. First comment.
You ain't had to finish the sentence. Are you interested to move for a first? Yes.
Yes. Jesse says I can just see them keeping Danny with the new coach and the fix him like Alan magical fairy tale thing. Oh my god. Just freaking this Daniel Jones crap. Like I really hope they are still sold on Daniel Jones. I really do hope that's the case because he is obviously not the answer, but the only team that can't see that right now is the Giants. Joe Horkowski says Corral, Pickett, Willis, Howell, Ritter all go in the first. I think
3 to 5 do, not all 5.
I think Corral, Pickett, and Willis go. I don't think Howell and Ritter go in the first. I could be wrong though. We could be shocked and we could see Ritter go. As much hype as we've seen, I wouldn't say it's out of the realm of a possibility Ritter goes late first. I think it's possible. But if I were to put money on it, I'd say it's just Corral. I keep wanting to say Carroll. Corral, Pickett, and Willis in the first round. By the Saints before Bev Voice says by the Saints before they made a deal with the Eagles. I have a relative that plays for them. Oh, okay.
Nice.
Okay, nice. Okay, let's see. What other draft related stuff can we get into? Do you think, okay, Pete, do you think, let's see. Oh, Jesse Davis says, Eagles pick Ritter at 18 and how it goes. Don't want to miss out on Russell Wilson again. Oh, my God. Ritter is not Russell Wilson 2.0. I don't believe that. I
He's-
don't believe in that comp.
No.
I don't believe in that comp. He doesn't have the arm in terms of accuracy that Russell Wilson does.
Right.
But people forget Russell Wilson when he was coming out, he was a complete quarterback in terms of skill set and talent. He just didn't have the height. That literally was
Right.
the only thing. He was just short. He was just short. He had everything else. It was just really, really, really short. Okay. Do you think, Pete, that one of the running backs gets taken in late first round?
I'm trying to think who's at the tail end of the first round.
I know that there have been talks. Like, I follow this one account on Twitter. I'll cover one. There are Bills. They do a lot of X's and O's, but they're a Bills fan account. They've been pushing for a running back.
I can see them doing it. I
So-
can see Detroit doing it with their second pick in the first round.
You think Detroit would take another running
They
back?
don't. They have the Rams pick.
But they have Swift.
I still can see them doing it.
Okay.
Um,
That early, like I can see them picking one in round 3 or 4, but early second when they have Swift already, that would shock me. But again,
remember Swift was hurt a lot last year too, and that's
he
not
was.
the first time.
Well, yeah, I mean that's a good point. He was.
Who else is there? I'm trying to think. So you got Niners, not Niners, no, because
So
they got
okay, if I'm going from 15 down, okay, so where we pick?
okay.
Eagles at 15, Saints at 16, Chargers at 17, Eagles at 18, Saints at 19, Steelers at 20, Patriots at 21, Packers at 22. This is where it starts, I think.
Because the Packers have 2 picks. Right.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
But I think the Packers also have AJ Dillon and Aaron Jones.
No, I'm not saying they would. I'm just making sure they have 2 picks.
Oh yeah, they do have pick. Yeah.
Okay.
So I think at 23 with the Cardinals is where it could happen. Now the Cardinals need a lot of other stuff, so I'm not saying they will absolutely take a running back, but I'm just saying it's possible because running back is a need. So 23 of the Cardinals, 24 Cowboys. No, I don't see them taking one. 25 Bills. I see them possibly taking one. 26 Titans. I don't think they would. 27 Bucks. I don't think they would. Packers again at 28. I don't think they would. And then you've got the Chiefs back to back at 29 and 30. I don't think they would either because they still picked Clyde 2 years ago. 31 Bengals. Don't think so. They would obviously lean toward line. And then 32 are the Lions. I don't think they go that early. So I could really only see those 2 teams, the Cardinals and the Bills, possibly pulling the trigger on one of the top running backs, either Walker or Hall. So I think those are only 2.
Yeah, I would be in agreement with you there.
Yeah. Ryan Haskell asked, do you think we spend more picks on offense or defense? Defense
this year.
Absolutely defense. Absolutely no brainer. Absolutely.
So, and then Jesse asked his comment before, will we trade 18 for the Chiefs picks? So trade 18. If we're getting both 29 and 30.
Wait, for both? Jesse, are you asking if we traded for both picks?
I mean, that the value would probably be there if you look at it in the calculator.
I would do it.
I probably, depending on,
I would absolutely do it.
I would do that because I think you can get Lewis Seen there.
Yeah,
one of those picks.
Yes. Yeah.
And you probably could get a Jahad Dotson there at that pick
first. Okay.
You know what I mean? Or Andrew, maybe to get a Roger McCurry or Andrew Booth Jr.
Ooh,
I think Booth would be gone by then, but that's
you think so?
Like.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we always see corners getting pushed up. A lot of corners get taken, so yeah, I could see him be gone by then. Give them 2. And
are you saying give them our second round pick? I'm not giving them shit. You can get 18. You give me 29
I'm
and 30.
not giving a second round and 18th for both picks. That's too much. If it would be for both of those picks, the drop in value from 18 all the way down to there, you're talking about picks 29 and 30. Yeah, we're not giving them a second round pick. But if you're talking about just 18 for those two, absolutely.
Now Detroit wants to pop his head in here, huh?
Yeah, Don now wants to do it. What's up, Don?
We're talking about your team, sir. You late.
Yeah, we just got done talking about the Lions, how they're not going to take a running back in the first or second round.
I can see that.
Walsh says, I would not be surprised if the Lions trade out of the second overall pick. I wouldn't be surprised either, come to think of it. Because no, I don't know. I can see it though. I mean, I can see it. I was gonna make a point about the QB, but then like I don't see anyone training up for a QB.
Right.
I don't
Not
see
these.
yeah.
Not that high. Not to two.
Jesse asked, do you think 18 would be enough? I think 18 would be enough if the Chiefs have someone in mind. 18 would be enough. Maybe we'd have to sprinkle in a little bit, but not second round, not our second rounder. It would have to be like
if you have to hope that a wide receiver is there, like a Wilson's there, Burks is
if
there.
they want Jameson Williams, if they really
or
want
Jameson Williams is there. Yeah.
Don says he wants Tibbs from Oregon.
Yeah, man, he falling.
He fallen, I've heard, for some reason. Greg Cosell was talking about like he doesn't have the bend. So I'm like, really? I haven't studied defensive ends yet, so I don't know. I'm just going off of what Greg Cosell said. But he doesn't apparently he's not as bendy as you would wish. So and Don says, look at him. Look who he mentioned.
Yeah, you already got Tracy Walker, but fuck out of here, y'all. Stay off scene, yo.
Yo, stay away from my guy.
Man, keep Dax Hill, Michigan, man.
Stay away from my safety. Everyone else, stay away from my safety, please.
Yeah.
Ryan asked, what about the tight ends class? I haven't dived into tight ends yet. To be honest, they're one of the last positions I ever look at because they're so shallow. Like there aren't a lot of like great tight end prospects on the year-to-year thing, so it takes me like 2 seconds to dive into to really study the ones, that are worth mentioning. But I heard that there are a few really good tight ends this year. No superstars, but really good good prospects. So
Jake Friel, you can't be doing shit like this while we on air.
What's he doing? What did he do?
So Tyrann Mathieu just retweeted Ian Rappaport's tweet about him visiting the Eagles virtually. An honest NFL who is somebody who used to work for the Eagles. Wink, wink.
Yeah, my the account that I love.
He commented, and then Matthews he liked it.
I see it.
Yeah, so
here it is.
So just to give you a breakdown, what Honest NFL says on the tweet, he says if that were to happen, if the Eagles were to sign Tyrann Mathieu to be a massive upgrade at a crucial spot in their scheme, Tyrann Mathieu is a unique talent and a football IQ to match. He's a versatile problem solver who helps streamline the communication across the defense, which is half the battle, would be huge.
Exactly. He may not be in his prime, but he's still very, very good.
I mean, it'll be like Malcolm Jenkins light.
Yes. Good comparison.
Yeah. I think he's at his prime. He was better than Malcolm, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But I mean, we got Malcolm at 24, 25.
How old was he when we got him?
Because he was drafted in 2010.
And then he was a first round pick. I forget if they used their option on him. I don't think
so because he came here.
One of the lowest rated free agents. Yeah.
Yeah. He came here Chip's first year. 2013.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't think they used his option. And then, he had to be like 24, 25, 24, something like that. Okay. I'd love Honey Badger. Please. I hope tomorrow morning when I'm at work, settle into my desk, and then I get that alert.
So Matt Walsh says he was drafted in 2009, signed with Philly in 2014. So maybe the 5th-year option was picked up. So he was like 24, 25.
Okay. Yeah, mid 20s. Donovan says, "I love seeing he be trying to knock people's heads off." Yeah, he does. Like he's not the most sound tackler, like in terms of technique, but man, like he is like he doesn't care. Like he flies. He's only like what $199. Like he doesn't have a huge frame, a huge muscle mass, but man, he's aggressive. He plays reckless. I love that. He's fun to watch.
Yeah.
So I really want him. Man, this is turning into another freaking Jeremy Chin thing. Jeremy Chin, I fell in love with. He was my favorite guy, and I feel like I'm going to be disappointed again.
Well, that's what I think. If they got a chance to take somebody that will be Jeremy Chin-esque, I think they won't miss that boat again.
I hope so, because they picked Hurts in front of Jeremy Chin, and I'm still upset about that. But if they make it up, if they pick Seed in this year's draft, I mean, we'll see where he falls. I think because he's a safety outside of Hamilton. I mean, we're already seeing with Hamilton. Hamilton,
Right.
because he's a safety, he's dropping, and then his 40 time is causing him to drop even more. Like people are talking about, because he's a safety, he's not as valuable. But I think for safeties, teams start to look at safeties in the second round. So I think he could fall to the second round. Hopefully, he falls to us. So we'll see. Joe Horkowski says if they go Jameson Williams at 15, I wouldn't mind if they trade 18 back to the 20s and grab Kier Elam and then Christian Harris in the second round. Elam is, let's see. Where does I haven't studied Elam, so I don't know. That's why I'm trying to look him up.
Wow, Mr. Wayne says draft a safety and don't draft Hamilton.
Wait, why did he say that?
Well, he's not big on signing Tyrann Mathieu because just we won't win a chip, so it's like a waste of resources. So I mean, Mr. Wing, are you saying don't draft Hamilton at 15? If he's there at 15, I mean, even I would unabashedly say I hope you're not saying don't draft him at 15.
But okay, Mr. Wing though, like the reason why you bring a honey badger in, even if you're not a Super Bowl contender, is because you need someone. You still need to play defense. Like you can't just bring in a bunch of like young guys and expect them to be okay and develop. Like you still would prefer to have a veteran presence to help them. Like I get it, we're not winning anything, and I'm not even saying sign Tyrann Mathieu to a 5-year contract. To that would I'd say no. But if you're signing him to a 1 or 2 year deal where he can be brought in and help the young guys develop, especially if we do draft the safety, I don't see how you can be opposed to that.
Right.
Like, and then he says here, don't draft Hamilton either, 4.7 coverage speed. Like, this is what drives me crazy, Pete, because we talk about every year, and Mr. Wing, sorry to like spotlight you here, but me and you even talked about months ago. You have these people that look at prospects and then they take the combine 40 time and they take the pro day 40 time. And if it's bad, they say, oh, like they're slow. Or if it's really fast, they say, oh, they're really fast. But they forget all about, hey, tape matters most.
Right.
Show me on tape where Hamilton doesn't display awesome range. So show me on tape where he doesn't display awesome range. I'll wait. I will wait because I don't care. I really don't care. Like I don't care what he ran. Maybe he's not good at running track. Okay, he's not good at
football.
Track. He's good at football. You put pads and a helmet on, he covers. Okay, so I don't care that he ran a 4.7. The film tells me he has awesome range and he runs fast. Or at least at the worst, fast enough. So sorry. It bothers me so much when people try to use a slow 40 time as reason to not like it just
I mean, like I'm not trading up for him. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he won't get past 12. Minnesota loves their DBs.
Yeah.
They love secondary.
Joe Horkowski nails it. Like Brian Dawkins ran a 4.6 140. Who cares? If he's good, he's good. Exactly. And not to go to like, I know it's a different position, but Brian Westbrook at the combine, he ran like a 4.6. 4.6. Do you think Brian Westbrook was slow when he played for us? Like he's explosive, more than explosive enough. Jake says people need to understand too that 40 speed and game speed are two completely different things. They absolutely are. They absolutely are. Get yourself on the field and not a track, and it's different. Kenneth O'Donnell says Hamilton is a game wrecker, and Howie hasn't a clue about football if he isn't drafted at 15. Absolutely. I will be so pissed off if he's there at 15 for some god-awful reason. But if he's there at 15 and Howie doesn't take him, I don't care who. I said at the top of the show, I'm going to repeat myself again, guys. All right? Remember this right now. If Hamilton is there at 15 and Howie doesn't pick him, I swear to God, I'm going to smack someone. I swear to God, I will. We will probably be live. Okay, we will be live on A2D. Okay, a lot of us, a bunch of us will be live on A2D, and you're going to see my reaction. And I swear to God, if Hamilton is on there and he doesn't get picked by the Eagles at 15, it'll be even worse than my god awful Jalen Reagor rant. Okay, it will be even worse. I will go viral for another, like I will do bad things. I will do bad things. I swear to God. Kyle Hamilton is there. I swear to God, you better freaking pick him at 15. I swear to God.
So real quick, so the Sixers lost to the Raptors tonight, and I didn't know that if everything shakes out as it is, that's a preview of the playoff series for the first round.
Yes, yeah.
And I didn't
Matisse wouldn't be able to play.
Huh?
Matisse wouldn't be able to play in Toronto.
Oh, he's not vaccinated?
He's not. He doesn't have the booster. He has the first 2 shots. He doesn't have the booster. It would take 2 weeks, I think, if he would get the booster now.
Well, they didn't do themselves any favors tonight. I'll tell you that.
They didn't. So I don't want to think about it. Whatever.
You gotta hope Boston loses the next 2 games, which probably won't happen.
Yeah. Who does Boston play?
I think they're playing. Are they playing the Bucks tonight? I think they're playing the Bucks tonight.
I didn't look at the schedule, so I don't know.
No, they're playing the. No, they have 1 game left. They're playing the Grizzlies.
Gotcha. Okay.
And we have 2 games left.
Yeah.
We got Pacers.
Anyone's listening. If you want to talk Sixers, give your Sixers reaction.
The boys just went live.
Yeah, the boys just went live for Talk Sixers. If you want to talk draft, we're still here. In a bit, we're gonna go no huddle though. Who knows what we're gonna end up talking about? So if you want to stay for no huddle, see what comes out of our mouths this time. So stay on for that. But Don says, Chucks, what other draft positions have you looked at? I started to look at corner. I did more wide receiver. We talked, Don, you missed it earlier. God damn. Come on earlier, Don. We were talking wide receiver more. We talked about corners a little bit. I did corners. I did safeties. I looked at the top 2 linebackers. I haven't done linebackers yet. And that's pretty much it. I'm almost done running back. Like I said that weeks ago, but like I stopped. If you remember, I stopped at like 15. I scouted 15 running backs. I picked out 5 more than I really want to look at, so I stopped to do those 5. But I don't think any of the 5 that I'm looking at are going to end up with day 1 or 2 grades. It's definitely not day 1 grade, but I don't think they're going to end up with day 2 grades for me. So they'll all be like, 4th, 5th rounders, most likely. But I still want to study them. But yeah, I've done 15 running backs, and if you haven't seen, guys, I have 6 of them are out on A2D's socials, so check them out. Kyron Williams, Isaiah Spiller, Brees Hall, Kenneth Walker, and then this week I came out with Brian Robinson, and today came out with James Cook. So check them out.
The most controversial James Cook.
Apparently a controversial James Cook. So like Chris Sims, you sent me his ranking. You sent me Chris Sims' ranking of running backs, and I tell you this all the time. I can't I can't do it anymore with Chris Sims and his running back rankings because they're so god awful now. So I can't listen to his pods or his thought when he talks running backs. I lose brain cells and I get so like aggravated because I don't know what he's looking at. But he did have James Cook was what RB4 for him.
I thought he was 3.
No,
Damn
David
it.
Pierce was 3.
Okay, yeah, and then he was 4.
Yeah, so he was 4, and then 5 was Tyrion Davis Price, right? So I keep saying, and the thing is, he's not the only one. Like I keep seeing James Cook in like a top 5 of people's running back rankings, and today when Dave Brugler came out with his draft guide, he has Cook at what he's having at. He has Cook at his 5th.
Okay.
Right, RB5. Now, I saw that he was at number 5. I was like, what? But here's where context matters. He still has a 4th round grade on James Cook. So that's even worse by a hair of what my grade on James Cook was.
Right.
I have a late 3rd, early 4th on James Cook. So context matters. The reason why I don't have Cook that high in my rankings is because I do like other guys. I do have them graded better than Dane does. So like that's why. But like, yeah, so he doesn't like Brian Robinson Jr. as much as I do. Brian Robinson actually got a late 2, early 3rd for me. Who else? Who's other? Keontae Ingram. He doesn't like. I like Keontae Ingram a lot. I have him higher. Damian Pierce. I have him higher. He gave Brugler gave Pierce and Cook the same grade. I think Pierce is better than Cook, so I gave him a higher grade. So like those guys I like more, so therefore Cook falls in my rankings. But I do like. It's funny because that's why I said context matters. He has Cook at RB4 or RB5, but his grade on him is lower than my grade. Funny how that works out. So that's why, guys, when you're looking at rankings, always go in depth and find out the reasoning. Find out how these people grade them because they can be misleading. So that's a little nice tidbit. But definitely check out my James Cook thing. Don says James Cook's teammate Samir White will have a better career than him. Yes. Yes, Don. Absolutely. And I love that you said that. The only thing about Zamir White that concerns me from holding him back from being a really good starter in the league is his build. He's a little more he's the way he plays is awesome, but he plays like he's 220 plus, but he's only like 210. So
Right.
like he and it's not like a Damian Pierce where he's like compact and like thickly built. Because or like Kenneth Walker who's thickly built. Like Kenneth Walker is only like 210, 211, but when you see his frame, you're not okay. That's not.
He runs so high.
Yeah, Zamir White, he is listed at 210 or 215, but he doesn't look like he's not thickly built, so he doesn't have a lot of muscle mass to him. But he plays aggressive like he's 225. I worry about with him, he's not overly elusive, but he does play with good leverage, has good vertical burst. So like I like his vision and stuff like that. So he's a solid running back. So I have like right now I think I'm gonna end up with he's gonna end up with a 3rd round grade for me. 3rd or probably like 3rd, 4th. So he'll be slightly higher than James Cook for me. So while James Cook is getting all this hype, I think Zamir White will be better. It's kind of similar to last year. Last year, North Carolina, remember their 2 running backs. They had Michael Carter and they had Javonte Williams.
Okay.
Carter was the flashy one. He was getting a lot of hype.
Right.
But I had always said Javonte Williams is the better running back. And we've kind of seen that. So, yeah.
I agree with everything you just said, actually.
Give me 1 second. I'm gonna step off for 1 second.
So, fam, it's Masters week for me. So, my draft talk has kind of went by the wayside for the next 4 days.
Draft talk. I mean, Masters talk. Like, do you take a nap during Masters?
No,
Because
it's the most.
that's the thing.
It's the most beautiful place I've ever seen on TV, and I've only heard it's actually just better in pictures. It's better when you're actually there. And the thing is, like, it's so old school. They haven't raised the prices on any of the concessions for like 40 years. Like, you can still, like, sodas are a quarter, beers are like $2, like sandwiches are like $1.50.
What?
Yeah, dude, that's the thing. Like, they do all this stuff and they haven't changed. And it's just, it's so beautiful. It's so much heritage. So, it's just so much behind it. It's just, you got to put your name in the hat to get a ticket. You can go 1 year and then not go for like the next 15, 20 years. Like, it's even the practice rounds. It's like, it's just different. Like, they don't have a lot of space for all the tour reps. The tour reps got to park like a mile across the street. It's crazy, man.
Crazy. Wow.
You just have to be there.
You gonna plan on going one day?
Yeah, I'm in the lottery for tickets every year.
Mm.
I just haven't gotten picked.
Gotcha.
Just haven't got picked.
Kenneth O'Donnell asks, "Chucks, have you studied edge rusher?" No, not yet.
Yeah,
I haven't studied edge rusher yet. I've been trying now that I've done, like, I always prioritize running backs, wide receivers, corners, and safeties. Those are the four that I always, because I have the most fun watching them. So I always prioritize them first. Once I get a good amount of the top guys, or like the top 2 tiers of those positions down, that's when I start studying the top 50 or top 100 at all positions. So I'll be diving into that now, starting this week. I'm trying to hurry up and get my running back videos done for next week. My last 2 will be next week. I'll be doing Damian Pierce coming out on Tuesday, and then someone you know very well, Pete, Isaiah Pacheco from Rutgers. From Rutgers? He will be my last eval coming out on Thursday. So after that, once I get those done, I'll really start to dive into studying all the other prospects. It's very difficult because, like, when I had to study these guys, I have to not only watch them one time over and take notes and pick out clips that I want, but I have to watch them a second time over for rechecks. So, like, because the first time I watch someone, like, I may miss something, or it might be something that I see one time, but then it might not be as good as I think.
right.
So I always have to recheck myself. So when I'm watching these running back prospects guys, like, I literally am watching them 2-3 times over, and so, like, it is very time consuming to watch this. I wish this was my full-time job, because if it was my full-time job, I'd be able to get this done in a matter of weeks. But, like, since it's not my full-time job, it takes me a while to get all these running back stuff done. So, but I watch them 2-3 times, and then I have to pick which running backs I want to do, because I always want to do the top ones that I think are going to be the best. It'll be picked on days 1 and 2, but then I also want to include guys that I think are sleepers or standout guys that I think are underrated, or I want to talk about guys that are overrated that I think are too hyped, aka like Kyron Williams, overhyped. I have to pick, and I get paid by A2D to do one piece of content a week, like for a month. So I only can do for draft season like 8 guys. So I have to pick 8 guys from all the running back class that I want to do. So it's very, like, it is pretty extensive. So this is why it takes me a while, because I have to really check and decide. But once I'm done all the running back stuff, which will be next week, I'll be able to dive into every position. So I'm excited for that, and hopefully next week and the week after that, we'll be able to talk everything, guys. So definitely keep your questions coming. Like, third quarter of every show, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do a draft Q&A. So we really, like, if you have any questions, definitely bring it up because we're leading on the third quarter, leading up of this show, leading up to the draft. We're just leading on you guys. Whatever you want to talk about draft wise, we're leaving it up to you.
Don, don't let the secret out the bag. He says, I like the kid from BYU. Shh.
Which kid from BYU?
The running back. You know who.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Yeah. Shh.
So we already talked about him last week.
I know, but still.
So Al Jair, this is where it's so funny seeing. So Matt Waldman, another one that I trust, he's very low on Tyler Al Jair.
Right.
Dame Brugler is very high on Tyler Al Jair. He has Al Jair at 4 RB4 with a third, fourth round grade. So it's awesome seeing these. I love seeing these range of opinions on guys, on grades on these guys. Personally, to me, I don't hate Al Jair as much as Waldman does.
Right.
I trust Waldman so much, but I disagree with him and stuff. I think Al Jair's ability to create is okay because what Waldman knocks Al Jair a lot on is his spacing and leverage. He doesn't always have the proper spacing and leverage when he's running. So, Don, I see. So
stir the pot.
So he knocks Al Jair a lot for that, which I understand. But what I like about Al Jair is that he breaks a lot of tackles, man.
Yeah.
He just breaks a lot of tackles. A former linebacker, he's physical. And being able to create like that, there's to me, your floor is higher if you're able to naturally create like that. And you have, like I said last week, I still think Al Jair has better burst than what his timed speed says. So I love that about Al Jair, and I think his ability to force missed tackles and shed tackles like that is going to translate to the pros. So that's why I have him at like a third round grade because I really like that about him. So let's see. Einstein 101 says, I used to help Coach Pop, South Jersey in the building, Pacheco. Yeah. Let's see anyone else. And then Don's comment. By the way, get rid of crab legs. God. Hate you, Don. Kenneth O'Donnell says White, Robinson, and Pierce are really good options, better than some of Sim's top 5. They really are. I mean, Pierce he had as RB3. And remember what I was telling Pete, guys, that I can't put him at RB3 over some of the other guys. Like I have Spiller and I have Robinson over Pierce. But I understand him putting in RB3 because I love Pierce. So the thing is with Pierce, I think his ceiling is low, but his floor is absolutely so high. Like because he does everything at least a good level, he's going to have a home in the league for a while. Like he reminds me of Mike Davis. How long has Mike Davis been in the league? How many teams? He's been around. Now he's the starter for Carolina. Like that's the trajectory I think for Pierce. That's what I think it is someone safe will always bring something to the table for a team. So, he might not ever be a superstar, but hey, if you want him to be a complimentary back, he's your guy. Like he's going to be a solid player and he will be for a long time. So like, that's why I understand that why he liked him on RB3, but the other guys, Cook and what's his name now? The guy from LSU. Tyrion Davis Price. Yeah. So I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see it. And it drives me nuts. Cause like I told you this, the last straw that it came for Chris Sims for me when it comes to running backs, when he comped Miles Sanders to Chris Carson, I was like, what in the world are you looking at? Like, it's just, I don't know what he's looking at. And Chris Sims is 100 times smarter than me when it comes to all other aspects of football. He played the game. He breaks it down so well. I trust him with quarterback evaluations and scouting. I still follow him. Obviously, I follow his show.
Right.
So he is smarter than me in every other aspect of football. But when it comes to running back, there's no doubt in my mind that I know more than Chris Sims. There's just no doubt in my mind. I don't know what he's looking at. So that's my rant.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Don asked, dream draft for the Eagles. I can't put that out now. I can't put that out right now. I still have to study everyone. But Don, you missed it early in the draft. My number one target for the Eagles right now has become Lewis Seen, and in the second round. So I'm kind of like, for my own personal mock draft, I'm kind of surrounding everything around Lewis Seen in the second round.
Yeah,
that's how I'm doing it. All right, so fourth quarter. Let's top it off, Pete. Who you got for us in the fourth quarter?
Fourth quarter is brought to you by Gleason's Bar, located at 6700 Mill Creek Avenue, Levittown, PA. Use promo code A2D for 10% off your order whenever you dine in, take out, or order online at GleasonBarandSteaks.com.
What do you want to talk about?
I mean, I really don't have too much, man.
I don't
very light for no huddle right now.
Yeah,
I'm excited for. I brought my Multiverse of Madness tickets.
Good.
Still haven't watched.
I'll probably go see it. That's the week of my birthday. I'll probably go. I have off too, so I can go see a matinee.
Okay.
With me. Baby, want to go see a matinee for Multiverse of Madness? Cool. Doctor Strange.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
still haven't.
When are you going? What time are you going to see it?
8:00
on that Thursday night, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll probably go see matinee. Donald says he still hasn't seen Moon Knight. I still haven't either. I'm waiting. I think both of us are waiting.
Yep.
I hear good things though, so I'm excited. I
have heard good things as well.
Yeah. What's his name?
Oscar Isaac.
Oscar Isaac. That's right. I've heard good things. I heard he does a really good job. So I'm excited to watch it.
He's playing. I heard he's doing better in this than he did at playing Apocalypse. So. But that movie was trash.
Oh God, the movie was trash. Yeah. I don't think he really had much to work with, and so I don't really put that on him.
I haven't heard anything about Morbius, Don, which is bad.
Oh yeah, I heard bad things about Morbius. I heard it's just very plain, another like lackluster origin story.
So it's like, is it worse than Eternals?
I don't know. Eternals was really bad.
Yeah,
Eternals was really bad. So I don't know. I don't know about that. But okay, so here let's talk about this thing real quick. So I saw clips of WrestleMania.
Okay.
What's his name? Chrome's boy. The punter.
Oh, McAfee.
There you go. Mm-hmm. So I saw some clips of his match. Let me tell you.
Boy can get it.
That backflip off the top rope, I did not see that coming.
Logan Paul was there, involved in the program on Saturday.
Okay.
Did pretty well. The guy and Johnny Knoxville, the celebrities that they had did pretty well. They you could tell, and it was very. But McAfee's a different level. Like if McAfee wanted to do it full time, the way he talks on the mic, how he brings his charisma, his attitude, he has it. He just doesn't need it. I mean, the FanDuel deal he just signed was like what, 5 years, $100 million or something like that. So
yeah,
he's just doing this as play money.
Yeah. But he's good at it. Like I don't like ever since he retired, like you could tell, like he has that charisma. He's I was very pleased to see the clip that I did, and I saw him get stunned by Stone Cold at the end, which is funny. And then they showed the one clip where he's on the floor and he's still drinking the beer.
That's the attention to detail, not taking the stuff too serious.
Yeah, that was
he has it. That
was funny. That was.
And then so Logan Paul, when he came out, he's just a natural guy you want to hate. He had the rarest Pokemon card ever. It's a Pikachu Illustrate card where Pikachu's actually drawn. I think the card just sold for like $300,000 like a couple years ago. Had it in a charm with like a blinged out solid gold chain around it. I don't know how he got it. I have no idea. Yo, Ev, happy belated birthday to the young kid. The young Ev from Fight Zone.
Wait, Ev, are you 21 yet? Did you turn 21?
I think he is.
Yeah, his birthday was yesterday. Happy belated again. I know we wish you happy birthday yesterday, but just want to say it again. Yeah, is he 21 yet?
Ooh.
You got some young guys over in this freaking over there. It's crazy. Pete, is there anyone who can challenge Roman?
Right now, in this present moment, no. They haven't built anybody that's worthy enough, even with Cody coming back, which is great to see. Yet. Not yet. Roman Reigns is on a level where he's Tiger Woods playing golf in 2000, 2001. He can't miss. There's nothing he can do. He can do no wrong. No wrong. This is why I said with Chrome last night. Don't get me wrong, The Rock, we remember him. He's fucking great. The Rock never had a run like this. Ever. This may be the best title run for WWE we've seen.
What do you mean by title run? Like
He hasn't lost since 2019. And everybody he's gone against, it doesn't make sense for him to lose. Nobody else has had the momentum he's had where it makes sense for him to lose because it's not good. And he keeps reinventing himself. Seth, not even Seth. Seth is on his wavelength. I mean, eventually it's going to be Cody or it's going to be The Rock. The way they keep talking about it, they start talking about him being the main needle mover, him being the reason why WWE made so much money, and being
The Rock as in like him coming back,
right?
For like a celebrity match at like WrestleMania or something.
Yeah, but the thing is, The Rock is. I think he's. The last time he did this with John Cena, which was 2013, he tore his abductor muscle. So like
long ago, that match was that long ago.
Yeah, and the movie insurance is crazy. So if he gets hurt, it's so many other people that it gets affected by him not being able to shoot on time. Yep. There's things in that nature.
But he does so much. Yeah, he does so much outside of it right now.
So. Right, and he does, and to be honest with you, that match doesn't need to be for a title. That's why, like Roman's. He's to the point where he's bigger than right now. He has the straps because he's just the most recognizable. And the guy that takes it off of him, or one of, or maybe both, off of him is going to be the next person. But which should be Cody Rhodes. I mean, at that point, Cody's story is crazy. Being told that, hey, you know what, you're at a place, you're at a job, and you kind of just don't see it. The ceiling is there, and they don't see anything else in you. You know what I mean? You say, all right, this is my chance. I'm going to better myself. And you go on for 6 years. You do everything you say you're going to do. And then you come back and all the leverage is yours. And now that same person that told you that they didn't want you, you weren't good enough anymore. Now you come back. Instead of you being an employee, now you get to run the whole thing. You know what I mean?
That's
so crazy. But yeah, Don, a couple of people are going to open day tomorrow. I know Ryan, Ralph, and Frank are going for Phillies. I mean,
opening day for what?
Phillies tomorrow.
Phillies what? What's Phillies?
The baseball.
What's baseball?
Oh shit! I mean, Donna, do they just give you free tickets to go to the Tigers games? Like, do they try to give them away? I mean, ever since Verlander and what was the other guy? I mean, they haven't really been anything since the fielders left, right? Cecil and Prince, and then Verlander. Wasn't Miggy Cabrera was there for a long time. They won the World Series, I believe, right? If I'm not mistaken. They did win the World Series, or they played in the World Series. I'm not sure. I forget. Did they win the World Series, Don, with Verlander and them, or no? I think they may have lost that one. I forget who they lost it to. Oh, wow. It's just, man, listen, I'm actually involved in fantasy baseball right now. I checked it. It's too much. It's too much.
Oh my god.
Mickey's still there. Are you serious? Dude's like gotta be like 40 now. He's like my age. He said I'm leaving it.
Okay.
Listen, out of all the times, dude, now you want to bring up baseball. All your avatars. I see Kate Cunningham. I see Detroit Lions. I've never seen a Detroit Tiger baseball player as your avatar. So you must not like him that much. You must not like him that much. I mean, you could go. You probably be at opening day, get some of that crappy ass Detroit pizza style. You know what I mean? Just.
Speaking of pizza, real quick before we sign off, we found our new favorite local pizza spot.
Okay,
because it's hard to, especially with Mary growing up in North Jersey. Central.
That's a different world. That's too close to New York. So
yeah, it's very close to New York. it's closer than us, obviously, but like she's used to like legit New York pizza,
right.
And so like in here, it's really tough to find like I know it's easier than it is to say you go to like California. Obviously, we have better spots that's closer to New York style pizza, but like it is difficult to find really good New York style pizza. But we found a spot. I don't know if you're familiar with them. They're on Delsey Drive. It's Selena's across from that. Like you know them. So we tried them on a whim last night, and man, yeah, their pizza's freaking good.
Yeah, that one's pretty good. I mean, have you guys been to Angelo's in Philly on in Center City on Market?
No, but that's not local. I'm talking about local.
Yeah, I mean, it's like 20 minutes away.
Yeah, but I have to go across the bridge. And like I just want, if I want pizza real quick, I need to okay.
Yeah, so Selena's good for that. Like, Selena's is good for that.
And plus, if I'm going into the city for food, pizza is one of the last things I'm going into the city for food.
Yeah, for your taste, yes.
Yeah. I like pizza a lot. It's not a hate, but I'm just saying, like, if I'm going into Philly, I'm like, I have other stuff on my mind, like cheesesteaks, halal guys, stuff like that. Like,
that's something I've never had that yet.
You haven't really.
I never had halal yet.
It's different. No. You gotta try it.
I never had that yet.
Now, here's what I'll say though. We had it a few. I think last week.
Mm-hmm.
For one, they changed their stuff. I think at that location.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's that specific location or if it's all the franchises all around. I don't know. Because we haven't been to one. We haven't been to a franchise location in a while, but they changed their chicken, so it's different in a bad way, but not in like a too bad way where it's horrible. Like it's still pretty good. If you're craving halal chicken and rice, it'll satisfy you. But you have to go. If you're gonna go to that one, keep in mind it's not the best. Okay. Because the best spot is obviously in New York, their original spot on, I believe, 18th.
And what chain is this again?
Halal Guys.
Okay.
So the original spot, the original food cart Halal Guys is in New York. It's near Times Square. I could be totally wrong, but for some reason 18th Street is what's coming up in my head. But I could be totally off. But the original spot Halal Guys, they have their chicken and rice is the cream of the crop. Like it's so good. So it's obviously the halal rice with chicken. You can get it with gyro if you want, or a mix of lamb. And then obviously their signature white sauce. It's so good. Like when you're craving it, like there's not a lot of places. That's a tough part. There aren't a lot of places when you're craving chicken and rice that can satisfy it. But you gotta try it.
All right, I'll definitely try it. Matt Walsh
pizza. We like Selena's is probably going to be now our
your go-to
spot for local.
Do they see like where I get spoiled at is Brick Oven pizza.
Brick Oven pizza is good. Brick Oven pizza is really good too. I still prefer a New York style, but Brick Oven is really good quality pizza too.
Yeah.
It's Matt Walsh says roast pork is a good sandwich again in Philly. I can recommend some place for you guys. See, I'm not a huge roast pork fan. I've tried it at Dinnick's, and I wasn't really a fan. And I know that Tony Luke's, the original Tony Luke's on Oregon.
You got John's roast pork. You got Woodrow's. There's a lot of spots that do it. I mean, this is my thing. All cool to that roast pork with the broccoli rabe. That's one thing. Roast pork to me now is penne. If I got Spanish cats in here, if you never had penne before, it's Spanish roast pork fucking blows roast pork with broccoli rabe out the fucking water.
Now I gotta try that then.
It's not even close. It's so much flavor, and you can put it in a sandwich, or you can put it over a arroz con amarillo, for yellow rice, and beans, white rice.
Now I gotta try that. I gotta try that. I gotta try that now.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I gotta try that.
I don't know if you have any of those spots. I don't know if you have spots like that up there by you. You may have to come down my way.
Yeah, I might have to. I mean, we have a Colombian spot that we go to now. It's in Pensacola. That's pretty damn good.
Yeah, I mean they can get close, but panini is Puerto Rican.
Yeah, they won't. Yeah, we don't have. But the thing is, we don't have any Puerto Rican spots here. So like,
yes, we do.
What spot? What?
My sister ordered it because her significant other is Puerto Rican.
What Puerto Rican spot do we have?
I don't know. She showed it to me before.
Okay, maybe I'll have to do some research going on freaking Puerto Rican spot. But I'll keep an eye out for that now. I'm interested. I'm very, 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 very interested.
I mean, I could listen. You got panini, you got bistec, which is like steak and onions with vinegar, peppers, and onions. You got stewed chicken. You got beef cubes. You got acopollo, which is like a rice ball. It's like a plantain ball. Then you got a rice ball, which is like rice, deep fried stuff with ground beef, codfish.
Like the good thing about Florida, like when you're down there, like Puerto Rican food is man.
You got Cuban. I mean, like if you ever had a Cuban sandwich, you have a Cuban sandwich. Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
So good.
So Don asked us, have we heard about the movie The Northman? I've seen the trailers. I can't tell you shit about it. I haven't watched it.
That looks good.
So give me a short story. What is it about?
I don't know. But
is it scary? Good. Is it like
no? It's like it's not.
It's
scary.
Vikings.
It's an action. Yeah. So like from the trailer, from what I understand, is this kid, this Viking kid, I think it's Vikings. He gets taken from his village or whatever, gets ransacked, and his mom gets killed, and he escapes by forget how he escapes. He gets not sold into slavery, but he escapes with like slaves or something, and then he grows up and he returns to seek vengeance. So it's like it's the plot isn't anything too special, but you have to see the cinematography and the storytelling and the cast in it. That's what's selling it. Like the way, just watch the trailer. Like it looks really good. I told Mary when we saw the trailer, I'm like, I want to see this. This looks amazing. The Northman.
Okay.
So yeah, that's really good. It dawned on us as well. The new Doctor Strange trailer just showed Wanda hugging her kids. Why did you spoil that for? God damn. That's all right. I would have watched it anyway. I would have watched the trailer anyway. So.
Jamaican food. Listen. That's a whole oxtail, curry goat, rice and peas.
Jamaican we have here.
Steamed cabbage. Yes. You got beef patty. Dude.
So good.
Why do we always? I leave hungry now. I'm fucking hungry as shit.
I know. I'm starving. I'm not supposed to be eating
right
too.
now.
I'm so this month. If you guys like, I have my my black sash testing for Kung Fu on May 6th.
Okay.
And so I'm in crunch time. So like I've been working out like hardcore, and I'm trying to. I've been really strict now because it's the last month. So I have to be really good with eating. This isn't helping. Like
no.
This isn't helping at all. Yeah, I have to. If I'm gonna eat like bad food, it has to be just a little bit. I have to watch my portions.
Like I'm literally sitting here when Don said Jamaican restaurant. I forgot. There's a girl around the way doing platters. I'm literally texting her my order for Saturday right now.
God. There's one right by. There's one in Washington Township, across from Washington Township High School. So it's right. Okay. It's not too far from my work. My coworker and I would order from them every once in a while. What we love about them is that they pack their platters. Like it has so much rice, so much stuff in it. Oh my god! The platter we would get from there, or I get from there, I would get their pork. So a couple of their pork, their jerk pork, with a bunch of and so much rice, so much damn rice, and then it'll come with the cabbage,
Mhm.
the vegetables, and then the plantains. Oh my god, so good. Now I kind of want it tomorrow, but I'm supposed to be being good. I'm supposed to be behaving myself.
Well, that's the thing. Like, give me the goat. The goat is lean. Give it to me.
What's
Oh,
gonna be? Yeah.
it's lean. It's not fatty. I get rice and peas. I mean, it's whatever. But the
Don said you still gotta try Korean fried chicken. Don, like you don't have
I
any.
gotta do that tomorrow.
Are there no Korean places in Detroit by you? Like, can't imagine there can't be any like Korean food like restaurants are popping. Like they're very popular. I can't believe there's nothing near you. I'm still thinking about the bacon cheese hush puppies. I want that too. No, I want that too. All right, we got to end this before we go down a rabbit hole of more food. I can't do this. I can't do it. I'm getting hungrier by the second. Okay, we got to end this. So, Don, thank you. Everyone else listening, thank you so much for tuning in with the draft talk. We appreciate it. Remember, each week we get closer to the draft. We're going to hype up or not hype up. What am I looking for? What's the word I'm looking for? Forget the word.
Amp it up.
Amp it up. There you go. Thank you. That's why we tag team partners.
Turn up the dial a little bit.
Turn it up. So definitely, if you need your draft fix, definitely come to us. Come to all the other shows at A2D. We got a show every day for you. So definitely check us out. We appreciate all of our sponsors too. They've been there for us, especially our main sponsor, Manscaped. Remember, use the promo code A2D. So from myself, Jux, for my tag team partner, Mr. Pete Evans, and for the rest of us at A2D, we appreciate you guys. Stay safe. God bless. And we will see you, as always, next week. Peace out.
Peace.